Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, Mexico braces for one of the biggest hurricanes in history.
Polls show Donald Trump could be losing ground in the Republican race.
And Harry Potter is moving from the big screen to the stage.
Those stories and more, this is Citrus TV News.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and welcome to Citrus TV News Live at 6. I'm Monika Hammer.
And I'm Jacob Reynolds.
It's homecoming weekend here on the Hill and festivities are underway. That's our top story tonight. As homecoming weekend kicks off, Orange Central events have taken over campus. Citrus TV's Joe Leonard tells us about this year's events.
If you've been paying attention to Syracuse University's campus lately, chances are you've noticed that it's Orange Central, or homecoming. This week, alumni return to campus to enjoy a weekend of reunions and fun. The week is highlighted by the homecoming football game against Pittsburgh on Saturday, but there is plenty else to do. Different exhibits can be found around campus, including the display of the Syracuse 8, the barrier-breaking football team from 1970 in Goldstein Faculty and Alumni Center, and Black Utopia in the special collections at Byrd Library. The week was kicked off Thursday night with a talent show put on by DanceWorks and the Traditions Commission. Directors Adriana Brown and Julia Trafilio have been working on the show since April, as Brown explains.
This is the Homecoming Showcase. It's part of the Homecoming Week Orange Central through Syracuse University. We're from DanceWorks, so DanceWorks hosts the event, and we work with the Traditions Commission to put it on, and there's like 17 orgs performing. Some are dance, some are a cappella, and it's just a really cool event.
According to audience member Sarah McLean, there was one group that obviously stole the show.
The Outlaws, that were super good. The crowd was hyped. It was awesome.
Homecoming activity will continue throughout the week. Those interested in more events should visit orangecentral.syr.edu to learn more about what's going on. It shouldn't be hard to find something, however, as campus will be abuzz all weekend long. Homecoming will continue this Saturday right here on the quad before Syracuse takes on Pittsburgh. You can check out the marching band or the pep squad, or even just hang out with some old friends before the game. For Citrus TV, I'm Joe Leonard.
A car crash off campus late Thursday night took the lives of 2 Syracuse grad students. Administration emailed the student body last night about the incident. The victims were international students from China and the Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering graduate program. The thoughts and prayers of everyone at Citrus TV are with their families at this time. And the Remembrance Scholars announced the events for this year's Remembrance Week. The week-long series honors the victims of the Pan Am Flight 103 bombing in 1988. Some of the events include a candlelight vigil, a documentary screening, and a panel discussion. A full list of events can be found on the Syracuse University News website.
The new home of the Falk School was officially dedicated today. After Deneen Hall was built, the David B. Falk School moved into the old College of Law. Dean Diane Leiden-Murphy, faculty, and students commemorated the event with a reception, open house, and showing of the documentary David Falk, Agent of Change.
And the Falk School wasn't the only one to host a dedication ceremony today. The Newhouse Sports Media Center was also dedicated earlier this afternoon. Dean Lorraine Branham and Professor John Nicholson spoke before cutting the ribbon for the new center.
An SU alum was awarded the Medal of Honor by President Obama earlier this year. Today, the university honored him with a ceremony of its own, and Nick Papantonis was there to cover it.
Sergeant William Shemin is not alive to see it, but his Medal of Honor will be hanging on the walls of Syracuse University for as long as it stands. Nearly 100 years ago, Shemin served in the military in World War I and would have been recognized for his service then had it not been for his Jewish faith. Shemin's daughter has led the fight to have him recognized ever since.
We actually thought there was no chance you'd be able to get someone a Medal of Honor nearly 100 years later, but that really speaks to her persistence. Of course, she's an SU grad as well, and she did a great job, and the family's really been able to experience her hard work, and so we're very thankful to her that she made it happen as well.
The ceremony began with speeches by Chancellor Syverud, Director for the Institute for Veterans and Military Families Mike Haney, and Shemin's great-grandson Will Cass. All three highlighted the university's work for veterans and the importance of men like Shemin as a role model for current students.
given what we're trying to do today, create Syracuse University as a national example in higher education for how we can empower this generation of veterans, doing things like we did today, telling these stories, is really important to create the culture and the environment that's welcoming to this generation of veterans.
This is the first time a Syracuse alum has been awarded the Medal of Honor, the nation's highest military award for valor. The plaque will permanently be hung on a wall on campus.
And after the break, Hillary Clinton faces 11 hours of questioning from the House Benghazi Committee.
And a bus crash in France kills almost 50.
We'll have all that and more after the break.
Weekend, but what does the rest of the weekend look like, and what can you expect for the week ahead? I'll have your full 5-day forecast when Citrus TV News returns right after this.
On the night of October 14th, Syracuse University was notified of an off-campus incident via Orange Alert. Just moments after the event, Citrus TV News was already bringing you new information on Periscope and social media. Then we brought nearly an hour and a half of live streaming coverage to students on and off campus via the web. Our own Hunter Sines was at the scene near the shooting, sending us live images of the area under investigation. The following day, reporters were live with the full story. With full team coverage, we kept SU informed with the latest, most accurate information possible. We really are your campus news leader.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome to Orange Press Pass.
Orange Press Pass is your ticket inside the Syracuse locker room. Hear from the coaches.
8 and we didn't win 8.
We got some open looks from the perimeter
and players.
Well, I saw pressure coming from the backside.
Get in-depth analysis, reports on site, and more.
Let's go on OPP.
Orange Press Pass, live after every Syracuse game.
Hillary Clinton is back on the campaign trail today after facing 11 hours of questioning from the House Benghazi Committee yesterday.
The former Secretary of State testified about her decision-making leading up to the 2012 attack in Benghazi, Libya, that caused the death of a U.S. ambassador and 3 other Americans.
Some have referred to the 11-hour session as a partisan witch hunt that has bolstered Clinton's campaign. The committee has been criticized for focusing more on derailing the Clinton campaign than investigating the attack.
I've lost more sleep than all of you put together. I have been racking my brain about what more could have been done or should have been done.
Officials are working to stop flooding this morning after a water main break in Queens, New York shut down parts of the city. The flood started at a construction site when workers struck the water main. Parts of Queens Boulevard and Broadway are now blocked off, backing up traffic. Officials have now managed to close the valve to stop the flow of water. And an American commando killed in an Iraq rescue mission on Thursday has been identified as Master Sergeant Joshua Wheeler. U.S. and Kurdish soldiers stormed a prison in Iraq in reaction to a tip that a dozen ISIS hostages were about to be killed. Officials say the captives were rescued in a firefight that ended with Wheeler being shot to death. Joshua Wheeler was 39 years old.
Donald Trump's dominance in the polls may be slowing down, at least in Iowa. Ben Carson has come out in front of Trump in Iowa for the second time in 2 days. A poll this morning by the Des Moines Register and Bloomberg Politics put Carson first at 28%, followed by Trump at 19%. Yesterday, a Quinnipiac poll gave the neurosurgeon an 8 percentage point lead over Trump. And the field of Democratic presidential candidates has gotten even smaller. Lincoln Chafee announced he's withdrawing from the race this morning in an address to the Democratic National Committee, Women's Leadership Forum. Though ending the campaign, the former Republican and independent expressed his support for the Democratic platform.
We do have a winning message of building a strong middle class, investing in education infrastructure, extending health coverage to more and more Americans, granting a path to citizenship to those who have lived in the shadows for too long.
And now for all your international news, here's your Reynolds World Wrap-Up.
Canada is expected to withdraw from the U.S.-led bombing raid against ISIS. This comes after the election of a new prime minister last week. Newly elected Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has called President Obama to inform him of plans to pull out warplanes and end Canadian airstrikes. Mr. Trudeau says Canada will now focus on providing humanitarian aid and training allied troops. Canada's airstrikes began in Iraq in 2014 and expanded into Syria in April. And at least 42 people are dead after a bus carrying elderly travelers collided with a truck this morning in France. The bus and truck got in a head-on crash while on a narrow road, causing the worst road accident in France since 1982. The bus driver was able to open the doors and help 8 people escape. The Taiwanese woman who forced an emergency plane landing in Alaska when she went into labor mid-flight could be fined for it. It is now up to the insurance firm of China Airlines to decide whether she should have to cover the cost of the diversion. While the insurer is still calculating the cost, Taiwanese media have estimated it could be close to $33,000. And the president of Guyana is accusing Venezuela of falsely laying claim to gold-rich territory in his country. The territory covers one of South America's largest gold mines and is one of Guyana's biggest investment projects. Venezuela's president has warned Guyana of potential legal consequences for operating on Venezuelan property. The UN is now working to mediate the dispute. Mexico is preparing for one of the worst storms in history. Hurricane Patricia is breaking records as the most powerful storm ever measured in the Western Hemisphere. Patricia, a Category 5 hurricane, reached sustained wind speeds of more than 200 miles per hour. The storm also recorded the lowest pressure out of any hurricane in history. Hurricane Patricia is expected to make catastrophic landfall in western Mexico late this evening. And could the rainfall from Patricia eventually make its way to Syracuse? Our Nick Ross has your full weather forecast on the other side of the break. And we'll have all your entertainment buzz in our Hammer Time segment. Don't go away.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Cuse fans, the Orange are coming back to campus, and you can too. After 2 straight road games, Syracuse football hosts Pittsburgh in the Carrier Dome Saturday, October 24th at noon. It's Orange Central weekend. Generations of alumni will be back to celebrate homecoming and to cheer on the Orange in their conference clash with Pitt. Tickets are on sale now at the Carrier Dome box office, Cuse.com, and 1-888-DOME-TIP.
After a cloudy week, the sun was shining today in Syracuse. Citrus TV weatherman Nick Ross has the full weather forecast. Nick?
Thanks, Jake. Yeah, it was a great, very nice day outside. Actually pretty cool today. 48 degrees is the high outside right now, but sunny all day. It was a very nice fall day, a nice start to your weekend. As we look out at tonight, mostly clear overnight, shouldn't see any rain at all, 34 degrees overnight. So things will get a little chilly. You want to take a jacket if you're going outside tonight. As we take a look out at the live and telecast radar, we can see this storm system that's moving right towards Syracuse. This goes up through tomorrow afternoon. So the good news is you won't have anything to worry about by then. This starts to move in as we get into tomorrow evening. Now, as we take a little bit of a wider look out at the way some of these storms are tracking here, you can see a lot of them are going to track up a little bit north of us. But like I said, these ones are going to come over, and we're going to see a little bit of that into tomorrow night. Now, as we actually take a look lower at the country, you heard Jake talking before about the hurricane that is making landfall in Mexico right now. And you can see the way that storm is actually tracking right there, bringing a lot of severe weather to that part of the country. But as we look forward a little bit, I'll show you how that's going to affect us. You can also see some of these flood advisories that are in effect down in the south that have to do with that severe weather that's coming through. Most of this in Texas here, a little bit in Louisiana, but nothing very much north of Texas. As we look out across the entire country at some of the systems that are moving through, you see we have this stationary front stalled out right across Texas. That's part of the hurricane there that is bringing a lot of that severe weather. But you see nothing too much as far as fronts moving around up in the northeast. As we take a look out across the entire country, some more fall temperatures definitely we're seeing across the country. Severe weather down in the south, as we mentioned before, but the rest of the northeast here are sitting at similar temperatures to what we're experiencing here in Syracuse right now. As we take a look at tomorrow, your homecoming weekend forecast, as we take a look across the whole day, 9 a.m., 42 degrees when you wake up, so things will be a little cool. But as we get into 12 o'clock noon for game time, 51 degrees, and 6 o'clock you'll work up to a high of 54 degrees. Cloudy all day across there. As we take a look at the 5-day forecast, 57 degrees is your high for tomorrow. And then on Sunday, Saturday night into Sunday is when we're going to see some of that rain actually start to move through. There's a 40% chance that we're going to get some of that. Monday is going to be cloudy. Tuesday, though, very nice, sunny and 55 degrees. Wednesday, we're going to see some more rain move in. There's a 60% chance of that rain coming in, and a high of 58 degrees on Wednesday for you.
Alrighty, thank you, Nick. Now, obviously, big homecoming weekend. If I go to a tailgate tomorrow, am I going to need a jacket, an umbrella, or will I be okay?
Well, I'd take a jacket. When you wake up tomorrow morning, things are still going to be a little cool, but that rain should hold off until tomorrow night. We're looking right around 9 p.m. We might be seeing some rain.
Okay, thank you, Nick. And General Motors has announced cuts going into effect in January. GM says they're doing away with the second shift of their Orion plant assembly line. The move will leave an estimated 500 workers jobless. The iconic Roman Tower is returning to Las Vegas, but now with a whole new name, the Julius Tower. The Caesars Entertainment Corporation is expected to announce renovations of its 567-room tower later today. The tower is one of 6 belonging to Caesars Palace on the Las Vegas Strip, which is getting a $75 million upgrade. The renovated rooms are expected to welcome overnight guests starting January 1st. And now for all of your entertainment news, it's Hammer time. Monica?
Imprimis Pharmaceuticals say they can offer an alternative to a main HIV drug for just $1. Only weeks ago, Turing Pharmaceuticals sparked public outrage when they raised the price of the drug to $750. The drug would cost more than $300,000 a year at that price. Children who use antibiotics could gain weight faster than those who have never used them. That's according to a study by the International Journal of Obesity. The study used electronic medical records of over 150,000 children compared to past studies that relied on a parent's memory. Children that took antibiotics more than 7 times weighed 3 pounds more on average than those that never used antibiotics. And The Boy Who Lived is going live on stage in London. Producers announced the theatrical sequel to J.K. Rowling's world-famous series today. It will feature Harry and his son Sirius and is the first play ever adapted from the series. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child takes place immediately where the movies left off, 19 years after the defeat of Lord Voldemort. Baby number 2 for singer Kelly Clarkson will be a boy. The original American Idol winner announced the sex of her second child in an Instagram post earlier today. Clarkson and her husband, Brandon Blackstock, had their first child last June. Adele fans, the wait is over. The singer released her first single in 4 years this morning. Her single, Hello, went straight to #1 on iTunes. The whole album, 25, will be released on November 20th. And Kate Winslet is taking a stand against retouching. The Oscar-winning actress has signed a new contract with L'Oreal that forbids the company from retouching photos of her in their ads. That she says she made the move in an effort to promote better body image for the younger generation of women.
Coming up in sports, SU comes home for the first time in almost a month. #1 field hockey team looks to finish off its season undefeated, and the Jets and Giants have huge divisional games while the Bills head across the pond.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
It is homecoming weekend, and well, Syracuse is coming home for the first time in 4 weeks. SU takes on number 25 Pittsburgh tomorrow in the Dome. The Orange looks to end its 3-game losing streak after it started the season 3-0. As our very own DRB Walker reports, history says Pitt may not exactly be the right team for 'Cuse to get off the snide.
History will not be on the side of the Orange as they look to welcome number 25 Pitt to the Dome tomorrow. The Orange and the Panthers have met every year since 1955 and 70 times overall. In the last 10 meetings between the teams, Pittsburgh has won 9 of them. The Panthers roll in with the #1 defense in the ACC, and offensive coordinator Tim Lester knows that.
They play team defense. They're aggressive. They're going to be in our face all day, and they're going to be in the backfield because they're relentless. They really are. And this is an aggressive defense, man. They fly around, so it's going to be a challenge for us.
While the Pitt defense looks to swarm Syracuse, Orange alumni will be swarming the Carrier Dome for homecoming. This is SU's only home game of October, and if they want to keep their fans intrigued, they must defy the odds to get the win. This is DRB Walker, Citrus TV Sports.
While the football squad is back home, SU soccer finishes off a 4-game homestand tonight. The Orange faces ACC foe NC State in its final home match of the season. Seniors Jusho Pasanen, Noah Reinhardt, and Korb Sala will be honored before the game. But it's a sophomore who's been leading the charge so far this year. Julian Bouchier leads the team in goals, assists, and points, and he's coming off a 4-point performance against Hartford on Tuesday. Syracuse can get back to 500 in conference play with a win. Also going on around the hill, #1 field hockey looks to lock up an undefeated season against #4 Duke tomorrow. A win would give the Orange its first ever undefeated regular season in school history. The senior class can also keep up its best winning percentage in program history. The Orange is 68-13 in the last 4 years. Syracuse volleyball takes on the Sunshine State this weekend. The Orange faces #17 Florida State tonight, then heads south to take on another conference foe in Miami on Sunday. On the ice, SU takes a break from conference play to face off against St. Lawrence on Saturday. It will be the Orange's last non-conference game until November 10th. Syracuse will look to extend its 2-game winning streak and go above 500 for the first time on the young season. In the NFL, the Jets take on their Donnan rival and the Patriots on Sunday. The matchup to watch will be New England's offense against New York's D. The Pats lead the league in points per game, and the Jets are first in points against. The winner will be in first place in the AFC East. The Giants also have a crucial divisional matchup this weekend. The G-Men take on the Cowboys in MetLife Stadium. The injury bug has hit both teams hard so far this season. Giants receiver Odell Beckham Jr. is questionable, but Tom Coughlin says he expects Beckham to play through his hamstring. For the boys, quarterback Tony Romo is still out, and Des Bryant is questionable after again not practicing today. The Bills are heading across the pond to take on the Jaguars in London. Talk about inconsistent. Buffalo hasn't had a winning or losing streak all year. The Bills have gone win, loss, win, loss, win, loss so far in 2015. The game will be the first ever NFL game broadcast live on Yahoo. On the diamond, The Blue Jays take on the Royals tonight in Game 6 of the ALCS. And yeah, we could have a World Series matchup set after tonight. The ALCS returns to the States as the Royals host the Blue Jays in Game 6. They say defense wins championships, but this series has been decided by the bats. A combined 59 runs have been scored. That's almost 12 runs combined per game. The men responsible for trying to slow down both offenses will be Kansas City's Yordany Ventura and Toronto's ace, David Price. The Royals got the best of Price in Game 2, putting up 5 runs in the 7th inning. The winner of this series will take on the Mets in Game 1 of the World Series on Tuesday.
All right, so homecoming weekend, a lot of alumni are back in town. How do you think Syracuse is going to do tomorrow?
You know, I'd like to say that we're going to get a win for all the alumni here, but I'm sad to say I think it's going to be another L in the column for the Orange.
That's a bummer. All right, thank you, Jim.
You got it.
And coming up, a spooky addition could be coming to an iconic landmark.
And we'll take one more look at your weather. We'll be right back.
If you see news happening on campus in Syracuse or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom at 315-443-1177 or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Staring contest!
You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
So it's a little far away, but you know Halloween's coming up next weekend. Any idea what the weather is going to be like?
Well, we've been seeing some of these cooler fall temperatures, so my guess we don't have models out quite that far yet, but we're always looking forward to that. Things will probably be a little cooler.
And when, I'll ask it, when will we see the first snow?
Yes word, everyone wants to know that. 34 degrees is our low tonight, so when we're starting to see some of those temperatures in the 30s overnight, combined with some of that rain, some of that, you might get a little wintry mix sometimes overnight, but hopefully not too much accumulation, at least just yet.
Well, that's good, I guess.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. And as we get into the Halloween spirit, horror movie fans may want to add Estes Park in Colorado to their vacation wish list.
The hotel that inspired Stephen King's The Shining will reportedly be building a center that will feature a horror-themed museum. The center will also include a soundstage, auditorium, and traveling exhibits.
The project is estimated to cost $24 million. The hotel gained popularity in the 1970s for a reputation of being haunted, inspiring the chilling book and movie. And I have to say, it is a terrifying movie.
I've never seen it. I avoid scary movies.
I know, you do. But I will say it's terrifying. That scene where he's like coming through the bathroom door gets me every time.
Would you want to visit this new place?
I wouldn't. I'm okay never going to that hotel.
Me neither.
And that is all we have for you tonight on CitrusTV News.
For more content, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram and like us on Facebook. I'm Monika Hammer.
And I'm Jacob Reynolds. Good night and have a wonderful weekend, Syracuse.